I too. Oh my gosh, y'all drop a comment if you feel like this. I too,
Yes.
from before COVID, I thought to myself after listening to it was a woman speaking on NPR. And I was listening to National Public Radio, and a woman who was in her about mid-30s was talking about how she had constantly felt like the life she was living wasn't like her ideal, or her real life hadn't started yet, and there was always a pining for a better life, a bigger life. Like, I'm here doing this now, and but my real life hasn't started yet, so it's okay. And she hadn't been married yet, hadn't had children yet, that kind of thing.
Yes.
And it was almost like the desire for those things was separate and apart from who she was. I don't know if I'm making sense. Again, the representative of like, I want those things and I'll eventually get them, but the lack
Yes.
of acceptance of what was real. And that if you're
Yes.
not, seeking relationships, or if you're not, able to find relationships, I'm not going to blame her, but we're saying that in her current circumstances, those things could not materialize based on the decisions and the choices she was currently making. But there was always this kind of like facade, or feeling that,
Yes.
oh, it will happen one day. I'm just not there yet. And this is just kind of like a temporary situation where I'm living right now. I can't even tell you, this was probably like at the very beginning of the pandemic. What she said resonated with me so much. And I was like, oh my gosh, am I feeling like, this is cool,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna have this type of life. But the reality is the plans that are being made, the actions that are being taken, the reality that is in existence that I haven't been fully embracing is that this is actually your life. And that
Yes.
what you desire has to be worked towards, has to be worked on. Other decisions have to be made, or we have to figure out how to, allow the reality and the desire to coexist in a healthy and mature way without feeling almost removed from your current situation. I don't know if I'm making sense, but what
Yes.
she described so much resonated with me. I'm like, oh my God, am I doing that? Am I
Yeah.
trying to like almost wish myself into a certain thing and
Yes.
say, like, this life, this right here, what I'm experiencing, y'all think this is it. This ain't it right now. But I know I'm living it. But it was like, no, no, no. I'm gonna be this, that, and the other. I don't know if that
Yes.
makes sense, but it really, in COVID, I was just like, woo, hearing her at the beginning of it, it just kind of set in motion like, honey, accept where God has put you. Accept that
Yes.
the decisions that you have made have put you in this current, set of circumstances, not good, bad, or indifferent. But if you really want to push into a different, level of, you could say, relationships, economics, whatever you want, you're gonna have to plan a little better, and you're gonna have to act and move in a certain way to actually materialize the life that you were almost dreaming about. So I hear you on that loud and clear. I feel like the representative that many of us push out to the world, not only just as a coping mechanism, I feel like Black people as a whole, we tend to be like, oh, blessed, highly favored, and just, holding it together from like the
Yes.
post-traumatic like stress we have on a daily basis.
It's
But I
true.
think in our intimate lives, imagine that. What
It's
you just said
true.
is so powerful,
It's true.
being who we think the other person wants us to be, and not really even having said to ourselves or giving ourselves permission to say, hold up, what do I want? I'm
Yes.
almost like, in a just an automated mindset, body set, whatever you want to call it.
Yes.
And we haven't even given ourselves permission, particularly as women, particularly as Black women, to say, I can be desirous of certain things. What are they? And give ourselves
Yes.
time to even figure that out, or to allow ourselves to choose what we.
Exactly.
How did you come to that, like, understanding? Like, did it just hit you late? I'm just like, you're like, wait a minute, what do I even like here? I'm like, what hit you in the face? What got hold of you, ma'am? Because I feel like a lot of people are sleepwalking. A lot of people
Yes,
are sleepwalking in this
they
life.
are.
What was the aha? What was the whoo? I got to wake up. How did that come
Yes.
about for you?
It came in doses. I want to say the first dose was I realized I was being a chameleon. I was just trying to look like my husband, be like my husband, because I wanted people to accept me because I was not accepted for a number of reasons. And and so I realized I didn't even know my identity. I
Mm,
didn't even know who I was. Like I was in pursuit, I was pursuing God, but I was still clueless as to who I was. And I want to say, um, once I began to know who I was and know my identity, know the very reason for which I was created, that I've been created in Christ's image, then I began to awaken. I began to say, okay, I I I don't think that this works for me anymore. I know I've done that, but this
Mm.
is not me. And the reason why I've done those things is stemmed from my past. And so I began to disassociate myself from the things that I felt that were more so things that I did out of routine and out of my past and out of pleasing others, into identifying, you know what, I like this.
Mm.
Where it became a problem, if I can just be transparent,
Yeah, yeah.
um, it became a problem when um, I realized that I didn't even know, like, how to, here I am married, like, oh,
Where we
I'm
going?
married,
Where we going, prophetess? Where we?
I got my husband, and then here goes, I'm like, I don't even, and it was a struggle. And it was a struggle. I said, I don't
That's
even know
so
what
real.
to
But do you know how
do.
many women are laying in their beds with that
Yeah.
significant other, their husband or whoever, and it's like, this
Yes.
is some real stuff. I
Yes.
also believe because we don't teach it a lot when it comes to particularly Black womanhood, we are confined a lot to, respectability politics, which is, be chaste, don't be over sexualized. You're not one of them type of girls and that kind of thing. So when we
Yes.
all of a sudden get married, it's like, oh, here's the intimacy. Hey, enjoy. And nobody ever wrote no book. Nobody told you nothing. You just got a husband. Okay, here we go. All right, I'm sorry. Sidebar for me. Sidebar for me. Yeah, we got to talk about these things, and y'all, I thank you so much, and I thank this woman of God for coming on the Suzette Speaks show. Prophetess Kathy Remy, keeping it 100% real. I know your church folk on here, so I don't want to get you.
Oh, they know.
But if we want to help people and be 100% real, it's great to know that even the people that we admire and hold on a pedestal, they also have, these challenges, and it's very
Yes.
real. And talk a little bit about what you experienced when you were referring to the old voices and the old
Yes.
narrative.
Yes.
I have
Yes.
done workshops on negative self-talk
Mm.
every day. Most of us, depending on how you've been raised, but majority of us, your brain is trying to preserve your life. It is warning you. It is telling you things that might happen that probably won't happen. It is giving you the worst case scenario most of the
Yes.
time, just evolutionarily speaking, to keep you alive so that you don't make bad decisions and you live long enough to procreate and continue and live as long as you can. But sometimes, this leads to an emotional unawareness where we're not sure what the voice is we're hearing, and we're often relying on it as the truth when it ain't the truth. So whether it's the mom, sorry, my phone ringing in the background, but whether it's your mom, them voice, the person who
Yes.
raised you voice, husband's
Yeah.
voice, talk about that past experience now holding on to, your present. Where have you experienced that?